Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. If you're new, welcome. My name's Carly. I'm an equestrian and it's Easter, so happy Easter. Let's get right into the video. So today's video was highly requested and I've had a lot of people asking me how I've taught Dante to be ridden tackless or in neck rope without a bridle or saddle. So in today's video, it's going to be a tutorial on how I do that. Now, whenever you see me ride Dante in neck rope, he doesn't have anything on his face. This is because he is trained. I've been working with this on him for over a year, and trust me, he's still not perfect at it. So don't expect your horse to get this on the very first try. I haven't had Dante for like that long compared to some people, and he still has plenty to learn about this, but this is just like my method on how I know to train a horse to ride in a neck rope. So this is just my basic explanation. Because this is a risky thing to teach your horse, I do not suggest you teach it to them if they do not respond quickly to a bridle or halter, or they don't listen to you. Just don't even try it. You want to have a good solid connection with your horse before you even start this. So that's why it was really important for Dante and I started him Liberty on the ground, and he just got to really connect with me, and then we started working with the neck rope, and that helped a ton. If you do not own or lease the horse or have permission to teach them this is probably not a great idea. As you may know, you've seen like some people ride their horse without a bridle and have a saddle on. A lot of times in order to ride tackless, you have to have like no tack on. You have to know how to ride your horse bareback well. You can't just expect them to listen to you through the saddle, because a lot of my communication with Dante is actually through my legs and my pressure on his side. Like, he senses that, and I'm not completely relying on the neck rope at all in some situations, because a lot of the times I just have to use my legs and he listens really. Now, this isn't to say that you can't ride your horse bridleless with a saddle. All I'm saying is I find it a lot easier to aid Dante while bareback and bridleless. Because in fact, I ride Dante with a saddle and bridleless all the time. Well to that. Not to mention, knowing how to ride bareback well is a very important skill to have as an equestrian. You may notice in the video I am using a bareback pad, but that is because I don't want to get a bunch of white hair on my legs, because Dante is shedding a lot. So if you comply to all of those things, then teaching them to ride in a neck rope is a very exciting thing to do. Now, like I said before, this is something that takes time and patience. Do not expect your horse to know this all on the first try. And like I also said before, Dante is still learning, and he still has so much to learn before he's perfected it. And we're still getting better every day, and that's why we still practice. So do not rush your horse and get frustrated, because that never goes well. I started Dante by having the neck rope around his neck while also using the bridle. This is so they can start to correlate the signals from the bridle into the neck rope. So the first thing you want to do when you start teaching your horse to ride a neck rope is just start at a slow walk and have one hand on the reins and one hand on the neck rope. Gently pull and release on the neck rope. Do not hang on the rope at all. Just pull and release very gently. This way they can respond to as little pressure as you need them to when you actually take the bridle off. You do not want to be pulling your horse as hard as you can just to get them to slow down, because that just is going to make them resist the pressure more. Start by using only a small amount of pressure. If they don't respond or slow down the first amount of pressure, just a little bit more pressure is all you need. If they still don't respond, that's when you want to incorporate the use of your reins, and then pull on the neck rope slightly harder and the reins a little bit until they stop. And then when they stop, reward them. Just reward them so much. It's so important too. Horses learn from pressure and release, so by gently pulling back on the neck rope when you want them to slow down or stop, and then releasing as soon as they slow down a little bit, is the perfect way to start slowly teaching them to ride in one. Never ever start teaching your horse to ride tackless by completely removing everything except for the neck rope, because all this does is teach them bad habits and lower your confidence. Not to mention, this video is how to teach your horse to ride in a Neckrope, not how to end up in the hospital. Now, practice those few steps until you can get your horse to the point where they can successfully slow down and stop on your command while using the littlest pressure possible. That's when you know you can start incorporating other things like trotting, and then you do the same thing at the trot. You can trot a bit and then ask them to stop. And if they don't listen, you know, just pull a little harder and release, pull a little harder and release. Then use your bridle if you need to, but eventually you should get them to the point where they only are listening to your legs and the neck rope, and that's when you can take the bridle off. That took Dante and I about 2 months to get to that point, so don't expect it to happen fast. And you know, turning is basically the same idea. You just add a little bit of pressure to one side of the neck rope while using a little slight outside leg just to guide them in the direction. And of course, you start with your bridle, and if they don't listen at first, have them turn a little bit with the bridle, and then using the neck rope at the same time, turn them. And like I said, you basically repeat that process for the trot and canter. If at any point your horse doesn't listen, do not get frustrated. Stay patient and calm. Simply go back to the walk and halt and practice those few things again. If they're responding well to the walk one day and they're listening and stopping and halting, don't do any more. Just let that sink into their brains for a while, so the next day you can pick it up again and do even better. And you want to be consistent with your training. You can't just, like, you know, do it once every few days or once a week or once every 2 weeks. You have to be consistent, you know, either do it 3 times a week or practice a little bit every day. However much you're at the barn, practice it, because the more they learn, the easier it gets for them. If you do all these steps correctly, your horse should catch on pretty quick. But definitely don't rush them. Stay consistent and just don't get frustrated, and you should have a pretty good time learning it. I certainly learned a lot from teaching Dante to do this. Our bond has grown so much since teaching him to do this, and he loves it. And when I'm jumping like with a bridle and stuff, it also helps us because he responds better to my aids. Anyways guys, this was just a basic, brief description of how to do this with your horse. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions for me, be sure to leave them in the comment section because I will reply to you if you have any at all. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure you stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching guys. Until next time, I'm out.